So, it's time for another story time with Effigia. This is the story of the man who was betrayed by a hero. Now, once upon a time, there was a guy who loved a girl. She didn't love him back yet, but she was getting there. She liked him. She just wasn't sure yet. He was courting her. He went over to her house almost every day to spend time with her. We were very good friends. Her mother was not a very nice person. Her brother was a complete douche. But things were otherwise pretty good. And then, 4th of July, he went over to the mother's boyfriend's house, along with the rest of them, for a party at his beach house. Some fireworks, some drinking. That was great. And, well, he had to do something the next morning. He had to get up early, so he and one of his friends left the party early while everyone spent the night at the beach house. Well, he dropped off his friend and went home, went on MySpace, sent a message to a few people, and went to bed. Next morning he finds out that the girl's place had been burglarized the previous night, and that the brother thinks he did it. Of course, he didn't do it. He's been home all night. So, yeah, the girl didn't think he did it. Most people didn't think he did it. All was okay, So then, next day he wakes up, and because his cell phone rings, there's a police officer out in his driveway wanting to search his house. Says the neighbor across the street from the girl, a police officer herself, reported seeing the guy's car in front of the girl's house at around midnight. Gave the police the license plate number and everything. Now, he knew he didn't do it. He doesn't understand what's going on. But he has nothing to hide, so, even though the police officer doesn't have a warrant, he lets him search his house. Why not? The police officer doesn't find anything. He just searches his car. Doesn't find anything. So, he leaves, and things still start to just keep going downhill. The girl starts to doubt him. The mother starts to hate him. The mother's boyfriend, whose home the guy's best friend is actually staying in as an apartment, hates him because some of his things were stolen, and he will no longer even let the guy into the apartment to see his best friend. Things start to go rapidly downhill. And the mother forbids the girl from even talking to the guy. The guy's honor gets hurt because of these false accusations flying around. And, he's really not dealing well. One of the things he does, he consults a lawyer, see about suing for on the grounds of slander. Finds out that it's nearly impossible to actually prove slander. He contemplates doing crazy things like going up on one of the railroad trestles and threatening to jump unless the police officer who framed him comes clean. He's just really not dealing well. What he finally ends up doing is he remembers he sent out those MySpace messages that night. And he checks the timestamps. One of them was sent out at 12:03. 3 minutes after midnight. 3 minutes after his car was reportedly seen in front of the girl's house. So he prints out that screen, gives it to the police, and that's the end of it. Or the end of him being suspected as a burglar anyway. The idiot mother and boyfriend still think he did it. The girl is still not allowed to speak with him. The guy is still not allowed in his best friend's apartment. And he'll never be able to fully trust a police officer again. Police officers who he had previously seen as heroes. People who would go out of their way, made it their actual job just to help people. People argued with him. They said, maybe the police officer, she was just mistaken, How does someone mistake seeing a car and an exact license plate out in front of a building at midnight? Either she was lying or drugs were involved. Either way. I mean, he had been over there earlier in the day. Obviously, she copied down the license plate number. Yeah, well, if you've seen my stories from Effigia, you know that the guy usually ends up being me, and this is another case. So, yeah, I've moved on. I have a new girlfriend, been going out with her for 10 months now. Still not allowed inside that guy's apartment, still not allowed to talk to that girl. Don't really care anymore. It's a very dark period in my life. I hate dirty cops. They're one of the examples I give when I speak of hypocrites. Pedophile priests, dirty cops, adulterers. Say one thing and do another. I thought about doing this vid on this last weekend, not this last weekend, the previous weekend, as it would have been the 1-year anniversary. I got so messed up by this all, I couldn't even spend time in my own bedroom, my own car, couldn't even go out anywhere that I had been, anywhere that I usually go in to hang out. I had taken this girl with me. So everywhere I went, I was faced with nothing but memories. I had to go into self-imposed exile for a whole month, down to my grandparents in New York. I just couldn't stand it. Really messed me up. That's it. The end.